Hey Pepper Gang, since Deadside overhauled building for the 1.0 update launch, I was finally excited to build a base on the test server. Up until now, I only ever played like a nomad using my save zone stashes to keep cash and a backup kit. Anytime I would get on to play, I usually just snowballed kids through PvP and some missions until I would get off and just save a couple things in the save zone. But now, base building has advantages and it's actually fun to build. It's not as basic as it was before, it's not as deep as Rust system, but it does have unique features which I enjoyed having. Using my base I built in the 1.0 test server, all live streamed, link is below for the channel. I will give you a tour of what I built while discussing the latest changes. Now because I play solo, I found a dope cave to live in at the corner of H10 near the quarry. I wanted to be close to the new airfield, but not too close where I was easily spotted going in and out. The quarry itself was also a great spot to farm nails and construction supplies, which sped up my building, and it also had a bike spawn. The base building works like Rust now, so yes, offline raiding is a thing in Deadside now. I know that's a turnoff for many people. I get it. It's not for everyone. It's one of the downsides of playing these type of games. I personally don't mind the risk. Plus the stuff you can build is pretty helpful. Compared to other survival games where you can get offline like Scum and Rust, Deadside's quick progression, traders, and free stashes in the save zone allow you to get back on your feet quicker than any other survival game with PvP. Your character also logs out and disappears, so you can keep valuable stuff on you. Not the biggest fan of being able to do that. I prefer having sleeping bodies with this system. They also added a craftable item that lets you link your Discord to the game so you can get a notification when you start to get raided. Granted, it's an endgame type of item, but that's a pretty cool feature that built into vanilla. Now, getting to the base tour, to build, you need a hammer, which you can craft, and there are 3 tiers of building materials. The first is the branch tier. You can get branches with a knife and put down the structure really quickly, but obviously it's really weak. The second tier requires planks and nails, while tier 3 is metal sheets and rebar. Upkeep the base, just like Rust. You build a cupboard where you store your mats for 3 tiers. On the test server, the upkeep for tier 3 was really high, so it actually made it a pain to maintain, especially as a solo. I do hope the devs tweak the requirements so we don't need to be farming scrap so often. They already did tweak the plank requirements in the past during the test server, so we shall see what happens from here. There is a second cupboard that's optional, and it's a toolbox where you store items to maintain vehicles. If you have all 3 items in there, which I didn't get to test, you can keep a vehicle in the base and it won't despawn. I had a garage in my base and I would just temporarily store vehicles when I was online, and then they would just despawn. Vehicles were pretty easy to find in the test server. I guess this would just depend server to server once the update drops. I placed both of these cupboards at the very back end of the cave and layered locked doors and walls in between. I also stored my respawn, generator for lights, and most valuable loot in these really nice shelves. I really like the compactness they had. Made a couple gun peeks in case I got online raided, which I almost did actually. This team of 4 followed me back to base after I killed one of them, and they surrounded my base with tripwires and camped my door. They eventually left and never came back, probably because they saw my metal gates and thought it wasn't worth it. I also began crafting shotgun traps and had my base up and running while they were camping me, so they probably heard me getting ready to defend. Now back to the base, how did I make those traps? I had to break down guns at the workbench where I got the components I needed for the traps. This is also where you repair gear and skin items that you have them. I had a larger shelf with large boxes next to it where I stored my crafting supplies. The last 2 benches I made were the plank workbench where you refined logs into planks, making my tier 2 upgrade phase very quick, and the other bench is the metal workbench where you can recycle weapons into scrap and you can refine scrap into metal sheets. Once I figured out that you can recycle weapons, I was collecting every single weapon I could find in my vehicle and bringing it home. It made my process a little quicker. They're very important now for upgrading the base, and scrap is needed for leveling up reputation at the traders too. Both benches do need the generator on to be able to use. Lastly, you will see some decorations around the base. I found this rug and table at an airdrop, but you can also find decorations in these white containers, especially around Kamensk. I crafted a wolf head decoration too, which is one of the options you can craft along with other animal trophies and flags. Decorations in Deadside are not just for aesthetic, they provide buffs. As you accumulate them in your base, the more the merrier. As you can see, you can get some great buffs, and they last for up to an hour the moment you leave your base zone. So there's an incentive here. The decoration buff system is part of the way Deadside differentiates from other survival games, and I think it's a unique take, making building a lot more in depth than the old system. And that is how much I got to do during the test server with base building. I mainly just missed out on auto turrets, nice endgame items, and more decorations, all which I plan on acquiring upon launch. 1.0 launch on all servers is Thursday, December 5th, and that will be showcasing the building and more all launch day long, so make sure you tune in. I hope Deadside devs continue to expand on building after 1.0 and add pieces like triangles, ladders, hatches, sloped roofs, and more decorations with buffs, but this is much better than what Deadside had before. It was awful. I can't wait to experiment bases all around the map, but this cave base was pretty awesome. I might do it again. All metalled out would make it very expensive to raid. I appreciate you guys watching. See you on Twitch, and if you want another video right now, check out this one recommended here right at the end. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.